Hey, good morning. How's it going? I'm sorry, good afternoon. Time change still got me sort of floating in the twilight zone a little bit. Uh, that and the way I am, if I get something on my mind, uh, until I have closure, I think about it. And sometimes I'm up pretty late. So. But anyway, went out this morning, ran by and saw my buddy Maurice that you guys met yesterday. And he was working, and everything's good. All was well. Uh, you know, um, I talk a lot. I talk a lot. I never finish. I wish I could get it all out. But I talk a lot about really walking in the footsteps of Jesus and learning to walk there and to stay there and to abide there. but when I talk about that, man, it gives me a rush. Not just a rush, but it stays there. And but we have the real world that we deal with every day on a daily basis. I'm pretty secluded. I sit here. I say sit here. I work. I do stuff, but I'm here, pretty much by myself. And got thousands of acres right here, right joining me right here. Fort Bragg, and land that I don't know, man. It's quiet. It gives me peace until something explodes, or a 50 caliber goes off or something. But I'm kind of used to that. But it insulates me, very much insulates me over the last 5, 6 years, really. I knew that my trajectory was not one that I could continue without blowing an engine or whatever. And so what I started doing, I had a lot of drag on me, man. I had drag on me. When I say drag, weight, things on my mind. This hurt, this anger, that anger. And one by one, I started letting go because I couldn't deal anymore. I couldn't deal with things as they were anymore. The pain of remaining the way that I was had become unbearable. And so when it happens, you have to do things. And so one by one, I started getting rid of or shedding or leaving behind relationships, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, for one reason or the other, but most of the time there was not really a valid reason. But the fact is that my cup was full, and I kept pouring more into it, and the spillover, what I left behind. I'm not sure it was necessarily intentional at the time. It just kind of happened. But even when you set your sail to follow him, or to find him at the time, to really find him, not find church or not find what this guy said or what this guy said. No. To find him. That does not take away the difficulty that we're faced in life every day. I mean, it's just part of it. It doesn't take it away. Now, as time goes on, of course, and I'll get there. As time goes on, certainly unburdening yourself makes a tremendous difference, But it also leaves a void. I have lots of people, man, in my past I was really close to. I really loved them. But when life got too heavy for me to bear, and sometimes being too heavy to bear makes me not want to have to talk about it, And so instead of just having to talk about it, I'd pull away from somebody. And I had so much chaos going on that I thought very little about them. You know, at the time it was survival. You know, it was doing what I had to do. I thought, and really I had to. And it seems that with almost every friend, the memory that I had of them was tainted by the hurt, self-imposed hurt, I'm sure, because I've always been a different kind of guy. I'm either all the way in or I'm out. There's not a middle ground. I wish I did know how to find a middle ground. But it's just not necessarily in the cards for me. But there are a lot of people, I believe, when they go through the fire, when every single thing in their life is burned up, every relationship is burned up, even the ones that they want to keep, they walk away. They what happens? Who knows? There's always an excuse. There's always a story. Doesn't matter. I'm talking reality here, and I think part of, and I told him that story yesterday about how I felt when I was a little boy. I didn't understand. I thought I was retarded because I would, people would promise and say they'd go do something and act like they never even promised or whatever, and it just all was a crazy, mixed up mess to me, and the fact is, as these days get shorter, and as we come closer to that ascension, it's not likely to get better. So we have to deal with those things, or I have to, and I'm certain that you have to, or some of you have to as well. I don't want to be angry at people. I don't want to hold grudges against people. I don't want to even feel hard towards other people. But I can't even tell you, I can't even number the things that people, good people, man, good Christian people in some cases, but they promise to do and just absolutely don't do it. They just don't, and it's almost as if there's no apology or not anything. They just don't do it. I had a good friend to really get offended at me because I called to his attention 8 or 10 things that he had said. I'm going to do that. I'm going to fix that. And these were things that it blows me away, and 1 time, 2 times, 3 times you talk to him, I can't really explain it, but broken promises destroy credibility. When a person loses credibility, they may as well stop whatever it is they're doing and go on down the road, because they're not going to accomplish too much. So how do we deal with that? How do you deal with somebody they love God? They do. It's obvious. But they don't do anything they promise they're going to do. How do you deal with it? It seems like a pattern. I think back, man, and I have had friends in the past that I have really helped over and over and over. I took one guy, man, he had nothing, had a car, he was trying to show off and couldn't even afford that, Took him into my home because he was broken, sick, health-wise, had nobody, had nothing, zilch, nothing. He was grateful too, you know, and I wasn't looking for that. I was trying to help him. I liked him and he's my friend, you know. But his middle name should be Broken Promises. You know, it finally gets to a point, like with this guy. He's called me 2 or 3 times. I didn't answer the call. Why? What's the point? So I can listen to some more lies? No, I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. I miss the person, though. I miss these people that I shut out, you know. But I just have yet to master. I can handle almost anybody in the world. And I don't mean that arrogantly, but I've been through it. You know, handle all the customer complaints for a top dealership. And buddy, let me tell you, you sell 6, 7, 8, 900 vehicles a month with 50 technicians, and you know the customers that you have. You field some complaints, and people, you know, people are aggressive and raising. It's just unbelievable. But that helps me a little bit, except when it comes to people that I really love. I haven't mastered that. I haven't mastered what it takes to look at somebody that is your friend and say, yeah, I'm going to do such and such and such and such. And then you just walk off into the sunset and don't do it. You know, how can I justify that? How can I get through the bitterness that it leaves behind? Almost don't make me angry anymore, you know, because I've come to the conclusion that darkness has spread over this earth to the point that it has seeped into even those people who attend church on a regular basis, raise their hands more often than anyone in there. And the name Jesus is likely to be somewhere in the first 2 or 3 sentences when you first meet them. What does it mean to take the name of the Lord God in vain? Does that mean damning somebody? And is that what that means? I don't really know. I don't do that, and it makes me shudder when I hear someone crass enough to do that. However, I don't think that's it at all. I think that we witness it every single day. Good people. Maybe. Trying to be, whatever. But they take his name and they use it frequently. But follow through as if they never knew him. God help me not to be that way, is my point, I think. We need to be careful, especially if we're really representing Christ to this world and trying to show the example, and that's what we're supposed to do. Don't promise somebody something if you're not going to do it. Don't tell them something that you don't mean. Don't get emotionally all up in the air and want to feel like a super Christian and say, oh gosh, I'm going to, whatever. No. Don't do it. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. It's okay not to do it. It's better just to not say it. Even say, gosh, I wish I could do such and such. That's all right. But don't go out here making commitments without following through. Just don't do it. You know, it causes too much trouble. It causes too much chaos for the person that you promise, because they depend on what you say you're going to do. When you don't do it, it causes them to fail in obligations that they have. So just don't do that. You know, follow Jesus. Here's how I handle it, though, just to get out of that hole in that bucket they're talking about. Here's how I handle it. It almost doesn't matter. I had a situation this morning. To be honest with you, it's heartbreaking, you know, and disappointing, and all those things. And but I went to the park. Went a couple other places. Went and saw my buddy there. And just started praising God. And started praying. And I got my focus on Him. My focus completely on Him and on praising Him and asking Him to help me to be able to follow closely behind Him and those sorts of things. And you know what? It wasn't just a little while. Man, I felt pretty good. Yeah, if I let myself slip back and start thinking about how disappointing, once again, it is. It could stay with me for a while. Can't let it. I can't let it, because what I have found, and the peace that I have found, and the joy and the happiness that I have found at the foot of the cross and staying there is priceless. It truly is the pearl of great price. It's well worth it. All right, have a good day, man, and I love y'all a lot. And I'm here if I can help anybody. If you got something you want to talk about, I got time. When I say got time, if I'm not doing something, ask me, talk to me. Let me help you. Let me pray for you. And because scriptures tell us if we bear one another's burdens, in other words, if I help you carry your burden, that's how we fulfill the law of Christ. And you know what? I got a good idea that if we fulfill the law of Christ, we're going to be sheltered in the shadow of the Most High God. Have a good day. God bless you.